Gonna bring on our first guest. She's a lovely woman and a fine actress and like a big time blockbuster motion picture star. They don't they don't get any bigger than this next woman. Not physically, of course. I don't mean physically.
No. Stature in the industry.
No, stature in the industry. Exactly, Paul. You have expressed my thoughts eloquently. From the Demolition Man and Speed to While You Were Sleeping, our first guest has become a big-time movie star right before our very eyes. Her latest film is called To If By Sea, and it opens on Friday. Ladies and gentlemen, here's Sandra Bullock. Welcome back to the program.
Thank you.
The crowd goes crazy. How have you been since we last saw you? How was your New Year's? How was your holiday?
My holiday was great. I took a bunch of friends of mine to Hawaii.
How many friends are we talking about?
We're talking 8.
And did you pay for these people?
Yeah, well, the meaning behind it was I figured since you start getting busy, you have to start hiring people to do stuff for you.
Yeah.
Just
so
like
you hired
stuff.
your friends?
I hired all my friends to do the stuff. And
what kind of stuff are we talking about?
But you know, stuff like, like answer the phone, balance your checkbook.
Answer the phone,
do something
Sandra?
with money.
Answer the phone?
Produce things,
You're too big to answer the phone?
When I'm not there. When I'm not there, because I have to go and work, so everybody has to run everything else. So you give them your credit cards.
You give them your credit cards?
Oh. But there's a good theory behind this. Let me finish, I'll tell you. You give them the credit cards, you check, but you say, here's the money, you handle it and you balance it, and then you take them to Hawaii, so, if they really mess up, they feel really bad because you took them someplace like Hawaii. You say, remember, I took you to Hawaii. And then, but I took them to Charo's house. You know Charo, that one?
Sure.
So, yeah.
Who doesn't know Charo?
Yeah. Well, we went to Charo's house, and, they give you a price for the house, which is, a fairly substantial price, which you say that's okay because it's Charo's house. Maybe it's New Year's, Charo will be there.
You're renting the house that Charo lives in.
Charo lives in, and she's got a restaurant there, so we assume
She got a restaurant in her house?
No, it's next door. It's to the house. So we assumed that Charo was going to somehow be involved with our being there.
You were hoping, sure.
Ingratiate us with her, present. Just say, hi, I'm Charo. Thank you for renting my house for this weekend.
Not exactly how she would say it, but close enough.
So no, she never showed up. I know.
Yeah.
It was narrow.
Now let's go back to this notion you have that if you give your credit cards to your friends, and then if you treat them to a lovely holiday trip to Hawaii, they'll
to Charo's house.
They'll feel guilty about having embezzled from you.
No, because if they embezzle, they won't have a job really, and and then if they embezzle and they don't have a job, people know they embezzled and then won't hire them because of the embezzlement situation. Therefore, do you see what I'm saying?
I have no idea what you're talking about now. Let's talk about other things. How's your boyfriend? You get a boyfriend?
Well, my theory
I just took a shot there, and I said, how's your boyfriend?
I
don't know if you have a boyfriend.
I know you just threw it out there, and my theory behind this thing is you have to date a normal person.
Right.
Normal person who's like... So what you do is, the only...
I'm not sure it applies in this case, folks. Maybe flattering yourselves.
But the theory behind, I figured out the key to a good relationship is that for a girl, you just need to know a little bit about football. Just like a little bit about, or the sports that come up. And so...
Do you know a little bit about football?
Well, see, what I've discovered, you don't really need to know that much, but like every week, like if you're shopping or you're just eating somewhere, just throw out something like, say, I noticed that, the Bills, I know they got, nice new shirts this year, and, things like that. Or if, another thing I discovered was that obviously has been going on ever since football started, was that, the very large men that take most of the heat in the game, they sort of block everybody, they're never allowed to catch the ball and, like, make a touchdown.
Right.
And I have a problem with that.
Really?
I mean, don't you think that, like, every once in a while they go, okay, now throw it to this big guy because he's been working really hard this year, stopping everybody. Don't you think?
Yeah. It's a little reward for the guys who do all the work.
Been there
like you taking people to Hawaii.
Exactly.
Well, take some linemen to Hawaii with you next year. see how that works out.
Yeah, okay, I'll think about it.
So anyway, how is your boyfriend?
he seems to be...
Now you have a boyfriend. What's his name?
I don't know, boy.
Let me guess. Let me just guess his name.
Okay.
Kenny.
Ah!
Is it Kenny?
Did you just say Le Kenny?
No, I just
thought
said...
it was French.
No, I just... Yeah. La Kenny. Je m'appelle Kenny. No, Kenny. Is it Kenny?
No.
Larry?
No.
Kenny.
No.
Give me a hint. Doug.
It's not.
Is it Doug?
It's not Doug, and it's not Bob.
It is Bob.
It's not Fred. It's not Jim or Pierre or Franco or...
Franco and Pierre. That'd be good.
Yeah, yeah. Or it's not Pete. It's not...
Well, let's just call him Carl, then.
Okay.
All right.
No.
What does Carl do?
Carl is a grip. No, okay,
Well,
I can
well,
explain.
lucky for you.
Yeah, you do.
Or
Yeah.
maybe lucky for him. I don't know.
Yeah, every once in a while he just comes up and goes, you know, like that.
Relax, Carl. You're not at work now.
No,
Pry his fingers off the piano.
The person formerly known as Carl is a grip is somebody who is responsible for the motions of the camera. Like if you see the camera go, like, you know, let's say Batman, the camera sweeps in along with Batman. The person sweeping the camera is person formerly known as Carl.
Yeah, and is that a good job for Carl?
It's a great job.
Is he making a lot of dough?
He does really well.
How long have you and Carl known one another?
Oh gosh. Let's see.
Hey, that was cool. I like that.
See, you're putting me on the spot.
No,
because now
you don't
go
have to
back.
answer any of this nonsense.
I don't,
Or,
okay.
better than that, you can just lie.
Okay, Carl and I have been together under a year, about.
That's good.
Yeah.
And you get along very well, obviously.
I think so. I think I can be a very irritating person to be with. I'm like, you know, hard to handle, I would think.
Yeah, I know that for a fact about myself.
Yes, that I'm hard to handle, that you
No,
know it is.
no. I just go
Yeah.
through my life irritating people.
I do
I've
the same.
irritated everyone here tonight. And there's nothing I can do about it.
Yeah,
It's just a chemical or something like that.
I understand.
Yeah.
I know what you mean. It's almost hormonal. You know, just kind of 1 minute you're fine,
That's
the
it, and the next minute you're
like
irritating.
Doing
Yeah,
something
I know,
irritable.
exactly. Yeah. And Carl's probably really easygoing, happy to be around.
He's very patient.
Yeah.
He has a lot of that.
Are you worried that maybe Carl is interested in you because you're like a big time movie
No, because
star?
this happened before that stuff happened. So, I mean, you know, I was guaranteed, I asked him, I had him sign a contract that he was with me because he liked me.
Yeah.
You know, I said, are you with me because you like me, or is there like some other thing happening here? And he said, no, I think I like you.
And
so.
Carl went along with that.
Well, so far, his name is not Carl.
Well, then that invalidates the contract. You've been duped. We have to do a commercial. We'll be right back. Hey, Sandra Bullock is here. Marlon Wayans is here. And also Norm Macdonald. You ought to stick around and see this. We got an 11-year-old kid from New Jersey. He's like not just an 11-year-old kid, he's a prodigy.
He's a genius.
Yeah,
And
and he's conducting the New York Philharmonic Orchestra. That'd
Is that
be
why
very
you
nice.
had me on, to sort of balance out? You know, you have genius and then you have bullet.
No, please,
Genius
no,
bullet.
no. You're being too hard on yourself.
No, I'm being honest. I met him upstairs. It's very funny. Ah! Who said that?
You know, I saw the movie Tuif by Sea.
Yes.
Interesting film, very
Yes.
entertaining. And you know what I like about this film?
What?
It's different from other films we've
Yeah.
seen you in recently.
Yeah.
That's a great thing to have done for yourself.
It's
kind of a romantic comedy,
with
very lighthearted, but then there's this
that dark
Dennis Leary.
undertone,
Yeah,
Dennis
exactly.
Leary edge. Yeah.
He was here last week
Yeah, I
sometime
saw
talking
that.
about
I
the film.
saw that, and he, what did he call me? Smelly?
He said you didn't smell good.
Yeah. Yeah. But see, this is funny what happens when you know somebody and you really admire them, and you hear he writes a script, and so what you do is you say, I'd love to read it, and then you read it and you go, gosh, I'd really love to play this part because nobody would normally look at me in this part, and then you call them a lot. And then you call them more, and then you have to like go through their people, and then you have to like go to the point where you're calling his parents and saying, please, can I do this film? And the funny thing is that Dennis is saying to everyone that, I was the first one for the part, which was not true.
Not true at all.
No.
But it's interesting that because you're the reason that this film is going to be a huge success.
No.
So
No. Oh, no. You got Dennis Leary is so, he wrote this and he co-produced, and this is something that he's done for like 2 years. It took him to, you know, put it together. So, I mean, I was really lucky when they let me do it, that they said I could do it. And then like that weekend afterwards, Speed came out, and then the people before that went, I don't think she's too right. We're going, I think she's really right for this part.
Yeah, you see, you know, you're looking through the wrong end of the telescope on this.
No, I'm okay.
No, see, but for my money, I spend the $7 to go to a theater. You know, who cares if you see Dennis Leary? If I see him in the lobby, that's fine. You know, that's just great. Oh, look, there's Dennis Leary in the third row. Dennis, how are you? But to see you, then I think, yeah, there's money well spent.
I think people. It's gotten to the point now where I'm sick of me. So I think, you know, that's why you kind of put the attention on. It's true. It's like I don't read magazines anymore because you're afraid you're going to see you again in like some bad outfit you shouldn't have left the house in, and you're like, that's the worst.
You know, by the way, you look lovely tonight. You're all dressed up. I appreciate that.
I went dressed up because I was sort of trying to thanks. I was trying to. I left the house one time in an outfit that I thought I looked really good in, and then now, you know, when they come at the end of the year, sort of, you know, things where they say this person should not have worn this when they left the house, or like the best and worst dress, and you're so badly dressed that they can't even make up their mind, so they have people call in and say, do you think she should be like, you know?
Yeah.
So that's really, so I'm trying to make up for the fact that I left the house in something really scary.
Let me just give you a little piece of advice. I have the feeling that I'm a bit older than you are. I'm 48 years old. I don't care how old you are. I'm guessing you're like 20.
No, yeah, okay.
And I've had a bit of this myself, where people are saying, oh, he's done this and he's done that.
Yeah.
And ultimately, what you have to arrive at, the attitude that's appropriate here is, oh, screw him.
Screw him, yeah.
Just screw him.
Yeah. You're absolutely right.
They're idiots.
Yeah, you're right. But you know what? When your friends even say, you're right, you shouldn't have left the house in that outfit.
See, this is the problem. These are the people you're taking to Hawaii. These are the people who have your credit cards. These are the people who are criticizing how you dress.
These are the people that should say before I leave the house, you look like a really big pink whale before you leave the house. Because this is what I looked like. We call it my Big Pink Whale series, where I left the house something pink, and I looked pink and shiny, and I left the house in it, which is really bad.
Well, so, it wasn't around the time of the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade, was it?
I was the one attached to the 4 strings that they were kind of holding like that.
Oh, yeah, you're a balloon. You're huge. You're enormous.
You should have seen the pink number.
All right, we got to do another commercial, and then we'll come back, ladies and gentlemen, with Sandra Bullock. Okay, Sandra Bullock is here. In a couple of minutes, Marlon Wayans. By the way, do you know Marlon Wayans?
Yes, I do.
He'll be out here. He's got a new film as well as you. Don't Be a Menace to South Central While Drinking Your Juice in the Hood is the name of that film. And we have the 11-year-old Lawrence Ty out here conducting the New York Philharmonic. Norm Macdonald also tomorrow on the program. Jason Alexander from TV's Seinfeld. You know. And Elizabeth Shue from Leaving Las Vegas. We were just talking about that.
So wonderful.
Man,
both of them are so good.
Yeah, it's just an amazing movie, isn't it?
It's great.
Yeah, it's
really
entertaining, it's exciting, it's depressing.
Yes.
And, huh? Well, it is depressing.
No, I know, but entertaining, exciting, and depressing.
Well, that's it. There's your $7 right there. Yeah. And comedian Brian Regan. Hang around here. Do you mind hanging around?
No, absolutely
and
not.
When he comes out, you'll have
to
I'll
go move to the second
chair. Well, actually, he can stay there.
No,
no,
you
don't have to move.
Because
No, you won't be able to see.
No,
I feel like fine. It'll work out just perfectly. Anyway, that's what we'll do. We'll do a commercial, and then you can see it as it happens when you come back, folks. We're going to bring out Marlon here.
Marlon. Yeah. Now it's coming up.
Our next guest has his own show on the WB network. I don't know. You know what that is?
More no
idea. I wonder what it is. He co-stars with his brother Sean in the film Don't Be a Menace to South Central While Drinking Your Juice in the Hood. Yeah. It opens on Friday, ladies and gentlemen. Please welcome to the program Marlon Wayans. Marlon, come on out. You owe me big time, buddy. How you doing?
I'm good, man.
Welcome to the show. How are things going?
Oh, it's going good, man. Just take this. Much better now that I got little Sandra next to me, boy.
Yeah.
That's right.
I know all about football.
Yeah?
And I love Chada.
Who?
Chada.
What is that?
You went to our house.
What? Oh, chow.
Chada.
What's it? Chada.
Chada.
I thought you were talking about chowder there for a minute. Oh, great. That's nice. They both enjoyed chowder. How'd you do in the snow? You like snow?
Oh, man. I like snow, but that blizzard was too much.
Yeah.
You know how I knew the blizzard was, like, real bad? Because they actually closed public schools in New York City.
First time in 19 years.
I went to school in New York City. They never, ever closed the schools. I mean, Armageddon could come and they still wouldn't close the schools. You see on the news, like, today in the news, fire fell from the sky as Satan chased the three-headed beast through Central Park. However, schools remain open. And alternate side of the street parking is still in effect.
Don't make any difference. Satan's in the park. It's still alternate side of the street park. Talk to me about the title of the movie. Don't be, what is it? Don't be drinking. Don't be a menace
to South Central
right.
while drinking your juice in the hood.
All right, explain that for us.
Well, it's actually a parody of all the hood movies. It's like Naked Gun or Airplane or I'ma Get You Sucker, but it's about the hood genre.
Right.
And we filmed it in the hood. And what's funny about that is we had like gang warfare going on while we were shooting. So the police told us that we should not wear like red or blue because that's gang colors.
Sure.
So all the white people on the set took this to another level. They went too far. Like my 55-year-old Jewish manager, Eric Larry Gold, he comes to the set in like all neutral colors.
A lot of beige,
yeah,
a lot of earth tones.
Pink. Like they're gonna really mistake him for a gang member.
Yeah.
Hey, imagine that. Uh-oh. Here come the rabbis. Come on. Hey, fool, let's run before they circumcise us.
You know, it's one of these movies where you just watch it and it makes you laugh. The next thing you know, you're laughing. And I'm thinking to myself, is it in any way going to be perceived or received as controversial?
I mean, I don't think there's nothing controversial about a laugh. I mean, everybody, I think we as people, we need laughs, you know? And I'm just trying to supply them. Message.
Every time we have a Wayans family member on the show...
There's so many of them.
Well, I thought we were finished, and then all of a sudden you're here.
Everybody in the audience is Wayans. Our family's now a population.
You have 10 kids, 10 brothers and sisters in the family, right?
Yeah.
And who all now is in show business that we know of?
There's Kenan, Damon, Kim, Sean, and Marlon.
Right.
And there's, well, we like to think of ourselves as like the Jacksons of comedy because, you know, that's what we watched growing up. You know, we always loved the Jacksons. And we want to be like the Jacksons of comedy. But, you know, except we don't have Tito and LaToya. We got Dwayne.
What is Dwayne like?
Put it this way, I wouldn't be surprised to see Dwayne on the cover of like Penthouse magazine with a boa constrictor wrapped around him. But naked. He's just, I mean, you know, Dwayne's like that first kid, you know? He was like my mom and dad's like lab experiment, you know? God. They learned what not to do with Dwayne.
Is he?
Dwayne, get down from there, boy. Baby, don't hit kid with chew. Remember that for Kenan.
Is Dwayne in the film?
Well, no, we didn't put him in this one. Actually, he was, but he's the only guy I know that just cannot walk by a screen. It's like he can't even be an extra. I love him to death, but, you know, it's like he walks by a screen and he'll be dead. We had him at Living Color. We had a scene where he's supposed to be a dead guy, and he's sitting there like this.
The film, again, say it one more time.
Don't be a menace. Say it with me, y'all.
Oh,
Don't
okay.
be a menace to South Central while drinking your juice in the hood.
There you go.
There you go. Come on.
It opens tomorrow?
It opens tomorrow.
Looks like it's
it
gonna...
opens Friday.
Friday, that's right. Looks like it's going to be a very, very successful film.
Well,
Congratulations.
hey,
nice to see you. Thank you very much for being here. Marlon Wayans. We'll be right back with the 11-year-old conducting the Philharmonic Orchestra. Okay. Is everybody ready? Well, that didn't take long, did it? Our next guest played the piano by the age of 4.5 and was composing original music by 6. Now, here with the world premiere of his Greenwich Overture are members of the New York Philharmonic, conducted by 11-year-old maestro Lawrence Tye. Lawrence, that was wonderful. Thank you very much. That was very, very impressive. Now, let me ask you a couple of questions. Do you have to pay these guys? You didn't think about that. Sure, you just write the overture. You don't worry about paying them. How do you think of this stuff?
Well, it somehow just pops out.
Pops out. That's very impressive. Here, you ever do this? Put it right in there. And then that's a crank like that. You can study that in the cab.
Oh.
Thank you very much. It was a great pleasure having you here. And good luck in your life and your career. And thanks to all of you folks. It was delightful having you here. My thanks also to Sandra Bullock, of course, and Marlon Wayans. Now, let me mention one thing. Norm Macdonald was supposed to be with us tonight, but because of the storm, he apparently is stranded, and so we'll schedule him another evening. Thanks for watching, ladies and gentlemen. Have a great evening. Good night, folks.